your speaker. Maybe you need to wash your ears out, not too sure. But I've definitely got the sound. Anyway, been for a fly around with a drone. It's time to head back. Yeah, he was just kind of curious about what kind of drone it was, stuff like that. We've done a lot today, we've done a lot of sleeping. I've been calculating my records as well. Did I see a little video? Slowly inputting them all into it. You can either like scan the barcode, or if it's a really obviously if it's an early record, it's not going to have a barcode. But then it lets you scan the cover. And I think there's another option where you can input in the serial number, which also gives you the record. But what's that? A fucking bus? Yeah, let's get out of the way and get hit by bus. Oh, 177 to be precise. That's the one I've got to remember. It goes down here. Okay. That window. cold nose coming in from out there. Get that drone on charge. Charging this radio. Oh, it's a lot cooler out there now. And that little boy making them noises. Little boy makes some mad noises. Pretty sure he's got autism or something. Sounds like he's stimming. What's called stimming. I do it, but I only do it when I'm stressed, and I don't do it in public. It's like involuntary sort of making of noises or words. It can be a bit like a disorder where they just swear, but we don't necessarily swear. Mine's more noises, but it has been words before. That's called stimming. Which, when I hear that boy, it sounds like he's stimming. Crazy world of autism and ADHD. Tourette syndrome. That's involuntary. Anyway, crack open the Lucozade Blue Rush and a spliff, I think. Yeah, that's stimming. But I never used to know what that was. I just think I was fucking crazy. Laying in bed saying certain words, but I couldn't stop myself. But yeah, that's stimming. But now, I don't stim in public. I only do that when I'm on my own. But other people do it in public. But I only do it now when I'm stressed. It's really mad how it works. But yeah, stimming. The involuntary making of noises, or can be words, or that little boy over there that I hear during the day. Great sentences. And am I an old skinhead? Yeah, I'd say so. 55 in a few weeks. Cheers, thank you, Bridge. Hey, I'm throwing a joint. When I can find me weed. Weed then. Yeah, he makes some crazy noises, the lad next door. You order? They're a good band, man. The Joy Division, also known as, or before the New Order. Yeah, I quite like electronic music. I grew up sort of in the acid house music and all that, sort of raving. That's when acid first started. Hello, mate, out there in Holland. Yeah, first of all, I was a little skinhead. Two-tone, the Specials, Selector, Madness, the Beat. And then when I was about 16, 17, I started going out, taking LSD, going to the parties, ecstasy. Which was all good fun. Well, yeah, it was all good. Back when the raves was, well, there was just a lot. The illegal ones were a lot sort of better. Obviously, with the illegal ones, you sort of had a buzz about the place. I don't know. I'd close your eyes and take a pic. Drum music. Yeah, that's the first time I really got into that kind of vibe, was when the two-tone come out over here in Britain. Obviously, Specials, Madness, the Beat, all started on two-tone. Yeah, I was right into that. Reggae, dub reggae, I was into. Early UB40 stuff. I see UB40 in the 80s when I was young. They were really good. The tobacco. I'm losing everything tonight. Got a nice David Bowie picture disc here. Mad Professor. What did I do with that tobacco then? Oh. So I've just got in for flying my drone around. In fact, I'm just going to put my drone on charge. It's going to take a while to charge up. What am I doing? Oh. Charging. Anyone that's out there following my drone exam, I'm getting quite into it. But we will see. I think I'm going to pass, but what I've noticed, I'm having to watch lots of videos. But about 90% of all the information I already know, but obviously I sit the test, which I've been posting. I have to watch all of the video because I've obviously got to capture that little bit that I don't know, but still, I've still got a big test at the end, and also we've got to do the thing with the computer and the webcam, and I've got to pull off a few manoeuvres on the drone, which I could do backwards, to be honest with you. But yeah, looking forward to that. In fact, I've dived right into it again. A lot of it's common. I've had to learn about meteorology and weather patterns and all sorts of stuff. But obviously, being a drone pilot, going on to the more advanced stuff like I am, you really need to know everything. Yeah. Interesting stuff. What did I do with that? You'll hear me say that a lot on here. What did I do with that? The ADHD is completely lose things. I could just lost that. Crazy. There it is. Right in front of me. In fact, I'll be all ready to go with the exam. I think my social worker sorted me out a computer or something. Because you've got to have a computer. Normally I do stuff on my smartphone, but I think what it is so they can watch you do the exam and make sure you're not on Google. Googling the answers, do you know what I mean? Whereas in my first test, nobody was really watching me. Saying that, you still got to watch the videos to get educated in the questions they're going to ask you. Luckily, a lot of the stuff, the meteorology stuff about the weather and that, I'm fairly conversant with, basically, because my dad taught me all that kind of shit. How do I get rid of that? I'm pushing all the wrong buttons here. Yeah, man. Essex, 2 times massive out there. Not far from me in Kent, across the water there, across the bridge. Yeah, they were the days, man. If you lived in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s, I reckon you've seen the best music. Experienced all the good raves I've been to. I've seen people like the Prodigy and people like that before no one had even heard of the Prodigy. The Prodigy Experience album, absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I was into acid house music, bit of techno, breakbeat, jungle. Don't like drum and bass really. Drum and bass was alright until it started getting too heavy and shit like that. I'll show you my decks down here, all my decks and all my records down here. The Victorian stairs are gonna ruin me. Got my techniques up here. One there. One there. I've got my I've got loads of records, about 3,000. There's 600 records there. Check out this for a drone. That's what you call a Phantom 3 Pro. And there's a picture of my mum. That's an album. My mum used to make music in the 50s. A rock and roll star. Oh, right. They might have some of my mum then. She was a famous singer in the 1950s. Probably where I get my love for music. Yeah. That's my claim to fame. Basically, my mum was on the first ever kind of music shows on TV. Anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to whack on the radios. See if anything's on the airwaves. Straight in with the airband, I think.
Frequency mode.
I worked at a company, and I've got two older brothers, and one of my brothers was a bit of a punk. The other one was into sort of Gary Newman, Tubeway Army. I don't mind a bit of that. I can remember their punks, man. Some of them punks with their big Mohicans and that. Fucking just looked like they wanted to kick your head in, man. I can remember them. And the mods, man. I was just a little bit of a rude boy skinhead, but we had a couple of mods in our little group, and but me, I was just into Madness, the Specials, the Beat, that kind of thing. Also got the Midland. I've got the Midland out with the telescopic aerial. Punks, eh? Reggae, I suppose I was into. I suppose the first music I was kind of really into was dub reggae, because this was before kind of Bob Marley or any reggae that had any singing in it. Your early reggae was just dub reggae, which was just fucking bass, drums and vibes and beeps and echoes, and I really like that. I think the only music I don't really like is your head banging stuff. Do you know what I mean? I give everything a listen. You wear punky stuff? Yeah, see, I wear sort of Fred Perry and stuff that's related to sort of my sort of music thing. But yeah, all music's worth a listen, apart from the head banging stuff that they're just banging their heads up and down and that. Do you know what I mean? All at the concert doing that. Ain't for me, man. Yeah, reggae's wicked, man. Yeah, I like the bass and the vibe, just the whole vibe of the reggae, the early reggae sort of sound. The Pistols, man. I've never been big on the Pistols, but never really sat down and listened to them. Just a bit before my time, slightly. I think. Lee Scratch Perry? Yeah, I know who you're on about. Yeah, early stuff, man. I like Desmond Dekker as well. If you want to go back to the original kind of Rude Boys, that kind of thing. Who else do I like? Stuff. Pete's Buster. Yeah, man. They were all the originals. What I call the original. Plus a lot of the early stuff on Trojan Records. I really like as well. Yeah, all them early, they're pioneers, man. Pioneers. So you got the first wave of ska in the early days, which I obviously missed. I call it the second generation two-tone wave. Yeah, them little Trojan ones. But early UB40 I really rate. You listen to the first 3 or 4 UB40 albums, just amazing. But then that's a bit like all of them. You look at Madness, the first 3 or 4 albums, absolutely amazing. And then commercialism takes over. You can't really blame the bands, do you know what I mean? They ain't never seen no money. Especially like UB40, you know what I mean? From the Dole Queue, taking their name from the Dole Queue, to then come into the money. You're going to go where the money is, isn't you? So you can't really blame them. But all the early stuff is just my favourite stuff. Saying that, Madness, even with the new albums, still have a banger on there every now and again. Yeah, I've got my vinyl down there. For UB40 was my first vinyl collection. Now I just specialise in two-tone, Bad Manners, Selector, The Beat, Specials, Special AKA. Not forgetting the Body Snatchers. Who remembers the Body Snatchers? Madame Medusa, man. Yeah, I got that on 12-inch, man. It's just a mad, yeah, them early ones like that are just, yeah, the proper tunes, man. You're in the right area there, for sure. The Earth Dies Screaming. That's another classic. Don't Slow Down. That's a good one. There's loads of good ones. That label doesn't ring a bell, but no doubt a 45 might have passed through my hands with that label on it in the past, but who knows. Anyway, everybody, I'm out of here. Whatever you're doing, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one, where we're probably going to be valuing a few more two-tone records. I think at the minute we're up to about £2,000, £3,000. Crab on it. I remember that for sure. I've got quite a good memory as well for, like, with my ADHD. I've got like a photographic memory, especially with things that I enjoy, which is obviously the music. Anyway, whatever you're doing, have a good one.